What's going on? Currently, it is December 18th. It's me and my friends were at an Airbnb in Dubai that cost 9K a month, and we're just having a trip all together. First, we went to Egypt for about a week, and then we're spending some time here just kind of chilling all together. We're working at the same time, and I just wanted to make this video to share a small win that we hit. Took me about 2 years of doing an online business to hit the first 11K a month. And actually we hit it for 2 months straight in a row, which is nice. Thinking through stages, just like Uncle Levi said, it's very simple. You've got only 3 possible things you can work on. So for some context, what I'm doing is SMMA, which is social media marketing agency. And there you've got part number 1, which is doing outreach. Part number 2, doing sales, and then part number 3, doing service delivery. So pretty much these 2 years, let's say, to even get to this point, I took to just figure out, how to freaking do outreach, how to do sales, what I started with. And then this is something what I do till today is cold email, where, you get a bunch of lists, bunch of contacts and a bunch of emails, and then you just blast messages, get the leads, call the leads, learn how to talk to them over the phone, get your script dialed in, and then your tonality, and then, sometimes you'll have a bad day, so you just kind of have to keep the appointments up. Then the second thing was actually learning sales and getting the right framework in. Right now, what I'm learning basically is framework of Aaron Brewer. You've got the 10 steps, and it's a whole thing. Thing number 3 is service delivery, which is something that I haven't been putting as much time in. What I did is I partnered up with my friend. So right now it's both of us working together on this thing, and I'm basically taking over sales and appointment setting. And then he does service delivery full, everything that happens with the client after signing a contract, so to say, right? So obviously when you just start doing this, you do everything on your own. I think you actually have to learn all of this, just because even let's say if you were to, run up your agency, you're starting to make 5, 6, 7K a month, you will eventually need some people, let's say media buyer, let's say an appointment setter for B2C, or appointment setter for B2B, right? So you want to know how to do all these things before hiring something out. And that's pretty much exactly, when they say that it takes time, this is exactly where everybody just kind of breaks and quits, because it's kind of hard. You just keep doing shit doesn't work, shit breaks. You just slowly keep fixing it, you keep fixing it, and then at some point it just starts working. And then you move on to the next thing, right? And that thing is also broken. So that is pretty much the reason, we're sitting at such low numbers as of for now.
Sometimes you need to take a step back to rewire the systems to make them eventually fucking work and be able to scale.
It's the same, by the way. The biggest number 1 thing that I'm learning right now is making sure that my energy is on point. I've taken the longest time, because even before doing this online business, what I used to do was, I had probably 3 sales jobs. I was an appointment setter, I was a full stack rep. I was setting appointments, taking the sales calls, etc. And I was in YouTube the whole time. I was, learning all the tools, learning all the frameworks, all the technicalities. And I never really put time into those, soft skills as energy, or, connecting with the person or whatever. For the longest time, I haven't even been trying to, crack a joke on the call, or just be more open and, be more easygoing on that end, or something like that, right? Some people say it's a European thing, but I kind of think it's BS, and a lot of people don't really know how to do it, right? So for me right now, aside from putting in hours into learning frameworks and what to say, and some tactics, some techniques, let's say in sales, right, it's making sure that my energy is on point. And the way I do it right now, it's pretty much separating what's happening with other people, what's happening outside of your mind, and you, and what's happening inside of you. Let's just say, I'll give a simple example of one of the things that broke very recently. It was November. I hit one of the worst show rates ever. So show rate is when you set a sales call, you set an appointment, you call the lead, and then they're supposed to show up to that Zoom call that you set with them. I've probably had one person that showed up out of 20 sets. That was terrible. And this is how I spent the first 2 weeks of November, just trying to figure it out, because everything I was doing was exactly the same like I used to do it before. You know, the script is the same, the leads are the same. I mean, sure, like the lead list was different, but I don't think it, could have been that big of a problem. People were just texting me, some emergency happened. Some were just texting, a job came up. Some were saying they're not interested anymore. Like any reason but a no-show, right? Pretty much the reason for that and the way I fixed it now was kind of separating those things and, making sure that I am on point, that the way I act is professional, that I am warm and, I am actually positive, because that thing produced a lot of negativity in me, right? It was very hard to even like keep going. Like so many times I was just saying that I'm not gonna do nothing. And there, like this is one of the things I heard where, let's just say, it's genuinely people's fault. Like it's oh, they're so bad. They're setting those calls with me and they're not showing up, right? Oh my God. I'm not gonna fall to their level. I'm not gonna, act the way they act. It's on them, right? It's on me to be positive. It's on me to keep doing, because the next conversation is a 100% brand new conversation, right? That person is not the same as all those people. So our brain obviously likes to create patterns, same way as you're trying to retain your clients, right? You're talking to them, you think your service is good, but for some reason they're still not happy, and you just can't figure it out as to why that happens. So obviously you have kind of multiple routes to take. Number one is to assume in your mind that everybody is bad. Start telling this story. Whenever you hop on and check in with the client, you'll assume that, oh, they will be angry, they will be unhappy. And obviously this is going to affect the way you act and what you say. So you don't really want to do that. In those cases where you don't really know what's going on, you always want to assume positive. And especially in the beginning, when you don't really have any proof, you don't have any evidence of success, let's say you've never done it 10K a month, which was me for the longest time at that point. I just don't know what it's like. I don't know how to build a business like that, right? Right now, I don't know how to build a business that makes 100K a month, right? And I'm yet to figure that out. So obviously you want to take it step by step. You want to break it down to like actual manageable steps, because right now, after hitting 11K a month for 2 months, I actually realized that, oh, it's absolutely not hard. It's literally you making a few sales with, say, like some upfront cash and then making some money on the back end. This is what it looks like for me, right? And then the next goal that I have personally, and well, we have like as a company, is to hit 20 and then 30K per month. And I do realize mathematically it's going to be the exact same offer. It's going to be the exact same setup. It's already there. We just need to carve it out of that, right? And when you get to that point, you actually feel that. Like you understand that this is the moment when, okay, it clicked, it works. It doesn't feel like some, random luck or, that it just happened. It's actually, okay, we've tested, 5 different offerings. I personally have taken like about 250 sales calls, like actual Zoom meetings that showed up. And, obviously I had like way over 1,000 of actual like intros when you just, call up the lead and talk to them. I already know that I am able to close at a certain percentage. If I'm not closing at that percentage, something is wrong, or it's just a period like that, we have to wait it out, right? All these things, they kind of come down. You calm down yourself. Like you're not being as affected by all these, fluctuations. Because again, I've personally had show rate drop every single year. Like for these 2 years, I've had periods when the show rate drops and it looks the exact same way. I just don't understand what's going on. People just keep canceling and I can't really do anything about it. I still do try and make some changes and improvements, right? And it motivates me to do so. But at the very end of the day, I know that if I just keep going, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it's going to even out. Like over a course of a month, because I'm tracking my metrics, I see that the numbers even out pretty much every single time. That's actually another thing besides those 3 parts with outreach, sales, and delivery, is to track your metrics. This is very important. You want to do it both for B2B sales and B2C, like client delivery, because this is exactly the time when you sit down and you look at your numbers. even when you are just starting out, you don't really have much going on, you maybe have, 2 sales calls a week, you still want to track your metrics. Because I will give you an example. I have a friend that hasn't been tracking metrics. He got the system from me, the cold email, he was running outreach, he was trying to book the calls, and then turns out that he's still like, after supposedly increasing his outreach like about 4 or 5 times, he still booked the same amount of calls. He came to me and just asked, as to why is it not working. We kind of sat down and looked at the numbers, and turned out that that outreach, the cold email, wasn't even running whatsoever. Like, he sent a few emails, but then he just didn't, like, he didn't set it up correctly. But bottom line is, the moment something is off, the moment you're concerned about something, the moment you want to change something in your business, let's say you want to increase the revenue, you simply go back to look at the metrics. You look at the numbers, you find the bottleneck or like a constraint, and then you fix it, you remove it. The other side of it is, you never should say that you're the bottleneck, because the bottlenecks are meant to be removed. So whenever, let's say, as a salesperson, I realize it's kind of hard to, keep consistent and actually make the calls. You have to do 100, 200 calls per day every time. You have to take the meetings, etc. It's very easy to fall off. So whenever something like that happens, there is usually something that's going on in you, right? And in your mind, some story you tell yourself that actually prevents you from doing that consistently. So instead of saying that, oh, it's just me, I have to do more work, like, that's never worked for me. I never, every time I say I need to work more, like, I didn't change nothing, right? So you want to boil it down to like actual observable things in reality that you want to remove, adjust, or just even realize. This video becomes like a set of little stories, but another one that I had was a couple of months ago. It was in summer when I tried to hire some B2B appointment setters. I tried to take the route of just kind of outsourcing that and taking a bunch of people on that would be paid off a commission, so I don't have to like pay them, yet they do the work, and whenever I close, I actually pay them. And I did like one closing from that. I paid the guy, but what happened there is the show rate was really, really bad, and then my close rate was really low. Overall, taking the route of outsourcing and actually have employees and team members is really good, but you have to do it right. The very reason I did that back in summer was to avoid doing appointment setting. I just simply did not want to do that. I was lazy for doing that, and I tried to kind of outsource it. And when they started booking some appointments, they completely stopped doing that, and my sales went way down. You don't want to do that. After talking to another business owner, he simply asked me as to why I do this, and the way he put that question was, typically I see people actually hiring it out after 20K a month ish. And then he says a thing that, if you need some help with time management, we can talk about that, right? And the moment he says that, the moment he put it this way for me, I just realized that, well, it's not about time management. Like, I've never been like busy 100% of the time. I just simply did not want to do that. The moment I decided to stop working with the ISAs, which was about end of September, beginning of October, end of October, we make $11,600 in that month, with me just with purely me dialing leads, setting appointments, and taking sales calls. And then we got some money on the back end. Then from there, November happened to be the second month where we hit 11K, but with only 2 net new sales. For some reason, with only 2 net new sales. First half of the month, I was feeling absolutely terrible. I had an absolutely terrible show rate, so I did not close anybody. And I got just 2 new clients in that month. But we still were able to make the money from the previous deposits and the back-end money. The plan for the nearest future right now is to keep working on the business. My goal is to turn up paid ads and keep cold email on, keep taking the sales calls, keep actually increasing the volume and the conversions that I have. And like I said, pretty much the name of the game right now is to keep going, keep getting new clients in. We will eventually hit 20K and 30K very soon. After that, I feel like I will have to do some changes, and I'm willing to actually hire it out and get some appointment setters, like actually start building a team, because that's what I want it to be. I don't really want it to be like basically like a job where I have to do everything. So I will keep you posted. The biggest thing that I wanted to deliver with this video is that obviously everything is possible. By all means, I'm not saying that this is some crazy achievement. It used to feel like that, but honestly, not anymore. And for people that are out there just starting out or even thinking about starting some sort of online business or maybe even SMMA, you definitely can do this. There is no such thing as oversaturation, because once you're good enough, competition becomes like a different thing. It's not like it's going to be hard to get clients. It's just simply, well, there are options in the market, which every single market has options, right? Now, when you're starting out, it's literally the matter of conversions. You will eventually get one, right? Send 100 messages, send 1,000 messages if it takes that to get one, right? Eventually you will get one, and then it will get better. You simply give it time. Whenever you run into something where you hit the wall, you don't know what to do, just tell yourself, give it 2 years. And then if that issue doesn't disappear, absolutely you stay exactly the same, just change it. Just do something else, right? That's pretty much what I've been doing since the very beginning. When I started doing websites, I was growing, we're progressing, and then the very moment I feel like there is no positive dynamics, like there is no growth, I changed it to having a sales job, which led me eventually to doing this online business, which I'm very grateful for. This paradox of, like, when you, with hiring specifically, they say you want to get a job, but to get a job you need experience. When you get experience you need a job, right? This is not real. Some places will tell you that, but those places are not meant for people that don't have experience, right? If you don't have experience in doing business, go get free trial clients, do work for free, deliver results, get some case studies, then start charging for it, etc. Right? There are tons of ways to avoid this, and the only people that will come up with 100 obstacles for you are unsuccessful people that don't want you to succeed either. All right, fam, I was happy to share some updates. We will keep going. I hope you will too. If you are actually grinding right now, building something out, or you already have a business that's growing and it's going pretty good, just write about it in the comments. I'm really eager to hear some stories or even learn something from y'all. All right, see you in the next one.
One more run.